the Black Log Monster. You are very brave to save Oliver, Emily, said Douglas. Aye, added Douglas. If we were there, we would have been rescued too. And he told Emily the time when he rescued Oliver, Isabella, and Toad from Scrap. Wow, gasped Emily. That must have been a really brave rescue. Indeed it was, smiled Douglas. The fat controller and then arrived. Emily, there's been a delivery that needs to be taken into MC Bun at Narrator Station, he added. If it was a flower delivery is late, there wouldn't be any bread or muffin. Yes, sir. When James heard this, he felt worried. You're lucky, Emily, he said. I have to run for the Black Log Run. What's wrong with the Black Log Run? She added. There's an avalanche of the blocks hung to the line, and there was also at the Black Log Monster. I mean, the Logless Monster? Added Donald. Almost, said James. Oh dear, I'm glad I'm not taking a Black Log Run, said Emily in a leaf. Take no notice of him, snorted Bucko, who had heard the interview. He was just thinking he believes, but Emily wasn't too sure. Soon, Emily arrived at the mill to collect the freight cars from the flour. Derek then rolled in. Be careful, he warned. The trucks can be troublesome in the past few days. Thanks for the warning, said Emily, and she steamed away. But the troublesome trucks were up into the same old tricks. Hold back! Hold back! They yelled. Put it back there! Ordered Emily. This is no time for our games! But I'm sorry to say, that the trucks were too strong for her. And she laid through the flour mill, so there wouldn't be any bread or muffins for people to buy at the MC Bun. Sir Topham Hatt wasn't pleased about the delay at all. This was dinner, he grumbled. This means it won't have any muffins or toast to eat for breakfast. If you like once again, you have to do the block one instead of James. I'm sorry, sir, Emily sighed. She was nervous. She was still nervous about the Black Log Monster. James told her about out. I must have been late, she thought. Top hair is really high on me to be on time. The next day, the troublesome trucks were up to no good again. Off we go, they chattered. But they weren't coupled properly due to a careless faster shut on a faster in the coupling. I must have been late. They said. They giggled as Emily buffled up to them. Come on, no nonsense, ordered Emily. We'll give her nonsense, said the trucks. So Emily steamed and as quickly as she could. But only half of the freight cars were left behind. The guard saw this and tried to blow the whistle until he had no breath. He waved his red flag until his arm ached. But Emily was too far away for his driver and fireman to see. At 9:30 she arrived and the station master walked in. You only brought half of the flour? He cried. Oh, botherations! Huffed Emily, and she headed back quickly to get the other freight cars. she were, I don't want to go back to the block off front. And as she arrived in the middle, the troublesome trucks were even more mischief. Emily the late engine, Emily the late engine, they sang. This made Emily very cross. Emily was cross. Look sharp! She said and biffed it along the way. She went very fast with the freight cars. She didn't see, and she didn't whistle to the signal to change the points. The guard saw this and tried to warn Emily about the signs until it was too late. The freight cars of flour and settled into the duck pond. Oh no! The trucks growled. The guard was inside the brake van and jumped clear before the crash. But Emily was covered in flour. Achoo! She sputtered as the flour went into her funnel. Soon, Thomas and Duck arrived with the breakdown train. Said Topwell was born. He was very cross. Emily, you have caused confusion and delay. Now you have to take on the black one. Ginty will do the work while you're doing it, he said sternly. Emily felt disappointed. Wait until you try it, Thomas confided. It might be nice. And there was also seals at the lake too, added Duck. But Emily wasn't convinced at all. Next day, Emily arrived at the Countdown station. All the passengers had cameras to take pictures to the views. They were looking forward to a ride. Emily thought. And she bravely made her way on the line. When Emily arrived at the lake, things went well. I bet the journey won't last long, she thought. But then there was trouble. Avalanche! Cried the driver, who looked up and saw the rocks falling from the mountain. And he was right. Oh no! Cried Abby. I knew I'd never like a run like this. Then was something coming up towards her in the water. The monster! She cried. She shut her eyes to wait for anything else to happen. I'm not going to improvise until my monster goes away, she shivered. When she opened her eyes, she saw something which made her very amazed. It's a seal! It's a family of seals! She said in emotion. How cute! The passengers were also amazed and took pictures of the seals. As soon as the line was all clear, she made her way. At last, as evening came, and she told the engines about her journey and what she saw at the sheds. Magnificent, Martha cried. And really useful, added Douglas. Even James was thrilled about the black monster. It wasn't scary anymore.